Introduction. My name is Ivy. I am 28 years old. I am a single mother with 3 children. Their names are Lily, Sam, and Noah. My life is not easy. I work 2 jobs every day. In the morning, I clean offices. This job is hard. I clean many rooms, making sure everything is tidy for other people. I often feel tired when I finish this work. Then at night, I work in a small diner. I serve food and drinks, clean tables, and wash dishes. The hours are long. My children are the most important people in my life. I work very hard to give them food, clothes, and a safe home. My mother helps me with the children sometimes. She is kind, but she is old now and gets tired easily. So I try not to ask her for too much help. I want to do things by myself as much as possible. Every day feels exactly the same. It is a constant cycle of work and worry. I wake up very early and work all day at both jobs. I come home very late, usually when my children are already sleeping. I am always tired. I have very little rest. I feel like I am always running, but I never catch up to a peaceful moment. My body often hurts from all the standing and cleaning. My mind is always busy with thoughts about money and my children's future. Sometimes, after everyone else is asleep, I sit alone in the quiet house. I look out the window. I often cry quietly during these moments. I think about my past. I remember when I was younger. I believed in true love and happy endings. But my life did not turn out that way. Love broke my heart and changed my path. The father of my children left me many years ago. He left when I was pregnant with our 3rd child, Noah. He made many promises to me before that. He said he would always be there for us. He said we would be a family forever. But his promises were broken. Forever ended very fast for him. He just disappeared from our lives, leaving me alone with 3 children. The memory of that time still brings me much pain. It is a deep hurt inside my heart. I try not to think about it. I try to focus on my children and my 2 jobs. But sometimes, when I am alone, the sadness comes back strongly. I wonder why things happen that way. I know I tried my very best. I just want a better life for my children. I want them to have happiness and a future that is not full of worry like mine often is. I hope one day things will truly change for us. 2. A new person. One evening, rain fell heavily outside the diner. Ivy was busy serving coffee and cleaning tables. The door opened, and a man walked in. He wore a dark coat, and his eyes looked a little tired, but his smile was gentle. Ivy had not seen him before. He sat at a small table near the window. Ivy brought him a menu. He ordered only a cup of coffee. His name was Don. After that first night, Don came to the diner almost every evening. He always chose the same table. His visits became a quiet part of Ivy's long nights. He was a quiet man. He did not talk much, but when Ivy served him, they sometimes exchanged a few words. He always listened carefully when she spoke. Ivy did not usually talk about her life to customers, but with Don, it felt different. He asked her about her day. He asked about her children, Lily, Sam, and Noah. Ivy told him small things, like funny stories about their games or their school. Don listened with interest. He never looked bored or hurried. Ivy worked many hours. Her life was often full of noise and worry, rushing from one job to the next. But when Dawn was in the diner, a strange calm filled the air around her table. She felt a quiet safety, a feeling she had not known for a very long time. It was a new thing for her. She did not understand why she felt this way. Maybe it was his kind eyes or the way he listened without judgment. He just listened, and that was enough. One night, the diner was almost empty. Only a few customers remained. Don finished his coffee. He stood up to leave. On the table, under his empty cup, Ivy saw some money. It was a very big tip, much more than usual for one coffee. Next to the money was a small, folded paper. Ivy picked it up. She opened the note. It had only a few words written on it. It said, "You deserve more than this life." Ivy read the words again. Her heart beat faster. She looked at the door. Don was already gone, disappearing into the night. The note stayed in her hand. "You deserve more than this life." What did it mean? She had worked hard for many years. She had always thought her life was just her life. It was difficult, but it was hers. Now, these simple words made her think. They made her feel a new kind of hope. A small, warm feeling started in her chest. For the first time in a long time, Ivy wondered if things could truly be different. She wondered if she could have a better life. The note was simple, but it felt like a promise. It felt like a new door opening for her. 3. A big chance. Don came to the diner again. He sat at his usual table, but this time he looked at me differently. He asked if he could meet me outside of work. My heart beat a little faster. I felt surprised and a little scared. I did not know what to say. "I want to talk to you, Ivy," he said quietly. "I want to help you and your family. I see your struggles." I thought about his words. My life was very busy. I had 3 children and 2 difficult jobs. I did not have time for new things, especially not for romance. I was also very careful. I had been hurt before, and it was hard for me to trust people again. "I am sorry, Dawn," I said. "I cannot. My life is full. I have no extra time for anything." He did not look sad or angry. He just looked at me with his kind eyes. "Please, Ivy," he said again, "just one meeting." "I truly want to help. I see how hard you work every day. I see your children. I want to help with your life, your work, and your dreams for the future." His words stayed with me. No one had ever said they wanted to help me with my dreams. My dreams were simple, mostly about having enough money for my children and a safe home. Don seemed different from other men. He listened. He was always kind. Maybe he was not asking for romance. Maybe he really wanted to help me. After a few more days, Don came back to the diner. He asked again if I would meet him. This time, I thought more deeply about it. I desperately needed a change. My life was very difficult. I was tired of cleaning offices and serving coffee every day and night. I was tired of worrying about money all the time for my children. "Okay," I said to him one evening, "I will meet you, but just for a short time." We agreed to meet at a quiet cafe in the city. It was a place I had never been to before. When I arrived, Don was already there. He stood up and smiled. He looked different outside the diner. He wore a nice suit, not his black coat. We sat down and he ordered 2 teas. Then he began to speak. "Ivy," he said, "I own a company. It is a big company here in the city. I need a personal assistant, someone who is honest and very hardworking." He paused and looked at me directly. "I want to offer you this job." I could not believe my ears. A personal assistant in a big company? This was too much. It sounded like a dream I never thought possible. It sounded too good to be true. My mind was full of questions. Why me? Why was he offering this to me, a diner worker? I did not have experience for such a job. I felt a strong mix of fear and hope inside me. My heart wanted to say yes immediately. My mind told me to be very careful. What did he really want? Was there a hidden reason behind this generous offer? I looked at Don. He seemed sincere. His eyes were kind and steady. But more than my fear, I felt my great need. I needed a big change. I needed more money for my 3 children. I needed a better, easier life for all of us. This could be that chance, a real chance to escape my hard life. It was a big chance, and I had to take it. "I accept," I said. My voice was quiet, but my decision was strong and firm. I would take this opportunity. I would work very hard. I would make this new life happen for my children and me. It was a big step into the unknown, but I knew I had to take it. For my new life. My new job with Don was a big change, a truly different world. I did not wear my old diner uniform anymore. Now I wore nice, clean clothes every day. I worked in a big office in the city. Before, I cleaned other people's offices. Now I had my own desk inside one. People there were polite to me. They listened when I spoke, and they asked for my opinion. For the first time in a long time, I felt truly respected. It was a wonderful feeling, very new and very good. My life was truly changing in ways I never thought possible. Don was my boss, but he was still the same kind man I met in the diner. However, in the office, he was sometimes a little quiet or distant. He owned a big company and had a lot of money, but I could see he was lonely. His eyes often looked sad, even when he smiled. I wondered why such a successful man carried so much sadness. I soon learned the reason for his quiet pain. Don was a widower. His wife had died 2 years ago. People in the office sometimes talked about it in hushed tones. They said she died in a car crash, but there were always whispers, quiet words shared in corners that suggested more. Some people believed her death was not just a simple accident. They said Don's wife had many secrets before she died. They talked about money problems, other loves, and even betrayal. It was a strange story, full of mystery and unanswered questions. The rumors made me feel a little worried, but also curious. Don never talked about his wife. Not once did he mention her name or the crash. But I could see the deep pain in his eyes whenever the topic was near. It was a profound sadness that stayed with him, a shadow in his kind gaze. Even with these dark rumors and the mystery surrounding him, I felt something new growing for Don. He looked at me in a special way, a way that made my heart beat faster and my cheeks feel warm. I tried not to, but I felt myself falling for him. I knew it was risky, especially with all the secrets and whispers around him. But I could not stop my feelings. This new life was full of big changes, new respect, and unexpected, strong emotions. 5 bad words. The new job was good, but soon problems started. People in the office began to talk about me and Don. They whispered when I walked by. Some women gave me bad looks. They said I was too close to Don, the boss. It felt like everyone was watching me. I tried to ignore them, but their words hurt. I felt uncomfortable and alone, even in the busy office. The friendly atmosphere disappeared. One morning, the rumors became much worse. I saw a newspaper on a colleague's desk. On the front page, there was a large photo. It was Don and me. We were walking out of a nice restaurant. I remembered that night. Don had invited me to a business dinner. The headline next to the photo was very clear: "The rich widower and his new woman." My heart dropped. I felt a cold wave of fear. This newspaper story caused a lot of trouble. My phone rang many times. The school called me about my children. They asked questions about the photo and the article. My mother was very upset when she saw it. She read the article and cried. She worried about my reputation and the children's future. I felt a deep fear inside me. This was not the new life I had hoped for. My private world was now public. Don saw how worried I was. He called me into his office later that day. He looked serious. He promised to protect me from the negative attention. He said he would handle everything. He told me not to worry about the article or the office gossip. He spoke with a strong voice, trying to make me feel safe. He assured me that my job was secure, but I was still scared. I did not know how he could protect me from so many bad words and looks. The rumors were everywhere now, not just in the office. I thought about my children and how this might affect them at school. I did not want them to hear these things. I also worried deeply about my job. This job was everything to me. It gave my family a better life. I did not want to lose it. And deep down, I also did not want to lose Don. He had helped me so much. This situation made me feel very uncertain. I wondered if I had made a big mistake. 6. A new woman. One evening, I went to Don's office. The day was ending, city lights began to shine. I felt happy to see Don. But when I opened the door, a woman was already there. She stood near Don's desk. She was very beautiful. She wore a bright red dress. Her hair was dark and shiny. Don looked surprised to see me. He seemed nervous. His eyes moved between me and the woman. "Ivy," he said, his voice quiet. "This is Clara. She is my late wife's sister." Clara turned to me slowly. She had a smile, but it did not reach her eyes. Her smile was cold. "Hello, Ivy," she said. Her voice was low and smooth. I felt a strange, uncomfortable feeling in my stomach. Don tried to make us talk, but the air was heavy. Soon, Don left for a short phone call. Clara looked at me again. Her cold smile was gone. Her face was serious. "You should stay away from Don," she told me. Her words were clear and strong. My heart beat faster. I did not understand. "What do you mean?" I asked her. She moved closer to me. Her eyes were fixed on mine. "You do not know him, Ivy," she said. "You do not know who Don really is." She paused. The office was quiet. I could only hear my breathing. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. "My sister's death was not an accident. Don is hiding big secrets about it." My mind stopped. Don's wife died in a car crash. Everyone knew. But Clara's words were like a sharp knife. They cut through my good feelings for Don. Was it true? Could Don be hiding something so terrible? I remembered the whispers in the office. People said Don's wife had secrets, but they never said Don had secrets about her death. Clara's words filled my heart with deep fear. My hands felt cold. My thoughts were confused. Don had been so kind to me. He had helped me change my life. How could he have such a dark secret? I wanted to ask Clara more questions, but Don came back into the office. Clara stopped talking. Her face showed no emotion. She looked at Don and then at me. I felt lost. My warm feelings for Don were now mixed with heavy doubt. Clara's warning stayed in my mind like a dark cloud. I did not know what to believe. My new life felt unsafe. 7, the real story. I could not sleep after Clara's words. Her warning stayed in my head. Was Don truly hiding something bad? My mind was full of questions and a cold fear. The night felt very long and dark. The next morning, I still felt tired. I decided to look for answers. I used my small laptop and searched online. I typed in Don's name and his late wife's name. Many old news articles appeared. I read about the car crash. A police report said it was an accident. But then I found other things. There were mentions of missing company documents. There were also details about strange money transfers from Don's business accounts. These things made me feel more worried. What did they mean? Later that week, Don called me to his office late one evening. His face looked sad. He closed the door and asked me to sit down. He looked at me with tired eyes. Then he started to speak. He said he needed to tell me the truth. He said it was a hard story. He told me his wife had a secret. She was seeing another man. This man was Don's business partner. Don found out about them. They had a very big fight. It happened just before she left the house that night. She was very angry. She drove away fast. Soon after, her car crashed. Don said he always felt guilty. He felt that the fight caused the accident. He said he never forgave himself. Then Don spoke about Clara. He said Clara hated him. She blamed him for her sister's death. Don told me Clara wanted to hurt him. She wanted to ruin his life and his company. He said she tried to use me to make him look bad. She wanted to turn me against him. Don looked at me with hope in his eyes. He asked me to believe him. He asked me to stay with him. He said he needed my trust. He said he loved me. My heart wanted to say yes to him. It wanted to believe every word. But my mind remembered the things I found online. The missing papers, the money, Clara's strong words. I did not know what was true. I felt very confused. I could not give him an answer right away. I needed more time to think. My feelings were strong, but my doubts were also strong. I felt torn. 8. My own way. Ivy thought for a long time after Don told his story. She had to make a big choice. She decided to believe Don about his wife and Clara. His sadness seemed real, but Ivy also chose to believe in herself. She wanted a simple, true life for her children, free from secrets or lies. This was most important. Ivy made a brave decision. She walked into Don's office and told him she was leaving. She would not be his assistant. Don looked surprised and sad, asking her to stay. He said he needed her, but Ivy knew what to do. She thanked him for the job and his kindness. She needed to find her own way, a clear path for her family. Ivy went back to the diner where she worked before. It felt strange, like going back in time. The familiar smells welcomed her. Her old friends at the diner were happy to see her. The work was hard, but her mind felt lighter. There were no rumors, no secrets. She served customers, washed dishes, and felt a quiet peace. One evening, Don came to the diner. He sat at his usual table. Ivy served him coffee. He looked at her with sad eyes. He said, "You changed my life, Ivy." He took her hand and gently kissed it. Then he stood up and left. That was the last time she saw him in person. Months passed quickly. Ivy worked very hard at the diner. She saved every extra dollar she could. Her dream was to open her own small business. She remembered her love for baking. Slowly, she saved enough money. She found a small, empty shop. She painted the walls yellow and bought an oven and a counter. Soon, Ivy opened her own bakery. She called it Ivy's Sweet Treats. The smell of fresh bread and cakes filled the air. Her children, Lily, Sam, and Noah, loved to visit after school. They helped her put cookies in bags. They smiled and laughed more than before. Ivy felt proud. She was building something real for them. Sometimes, beautiful flowers came to the bakery. There was no card, but Ivy knew they were from Don. She did not call him or send flowers back. Her life was hers now. It was not perfect or easy, but it was honest. Ivy learned a big lesson. Love could be painful, but it also showed her how strong she truly was. She was a single mother, no longer weak. She had found her own way. It was good. She stood tall, ready for what came next.